information came out the AlaskaNewsSource.com. I thought was very well. Let me get to the article. An ignition obtained with electronic vehicle fire promote recall, but some owners stalled waiting on the repair. Car company NHTSA the solutions are aware but dangerous significant enough to reduce charges. So apparently these electronic vehicles has could potentially cause fire, and that's what promotes the recall. But there's a video I'm getting ready to show you. It's a part of this article where someone electronic car did catch on fire. Let me play that for y'all. Hold on just a second.
Flames shoot from the garage of a home in Virginia in May 2021 as firefighters rush to the scene. The homeowner and his family watch in disbelief.
The house is on fire.
Okay. It's very bad. It's very bad, actually.
As neighbors flood 911 with calls and record the devastation unfolding on their phones.
There's a little fire in the garage. It's now out.
It was an ordeal. The family and fire officials say all began with an electric vehicle in the garage.
A smoke coming from the car and the car charging.
Spontaneous fires in electric vehicles, or EVs, are a rare but alarming scenario that's been reported across the country. As far back as 2020, documents we uncovered from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or NHTSA, show multiple car manufacturers have reported safety defects with their EV batteries that could spark a fire. And tens of thousands of cars have been recalled because of the risk of ignition in EVs that are charging or even after they've been unplugged. The problem even has some major airports banning specific cars from their parking lots.
The battery enters a state where it catches on fire. This could happen for a number of reasons, and sometimes they're even undetermined.
Michael Brooks with the Center for Auto Safety says the mystery of the battery's root problem is being investigated by the government. In the meantime, some EV owners are left with restrictions on how they can charge and where they can park, cars that can't go as far as designed, and fears about what could happen to the vehicles sitting under their roofs or just outside the door.
It's concerning because it's a different type of danger. You know, you're not in your car, you're in your house and you're asleep, and your car catches fire and you have no way of knowing.
Our team discovered NHTSA records that show it's happened nationwide, with an Arizona man telling the agency he had to be treated for smoke inhalation after his charging EV unexpectedly caught fire in his garage. There's also a New Jersey owner who said that if the spontaneous EV fire that spread into his house had happened overnight, he and his wife could have died. And an unidentified person who supplied pictures from security cameras that show his car essentially exploded without warning in the driveway. Each of those incidents, records show, involved a Chevy Bolt. The company, which has declined our interview requests, has recalled more than 100,000 cars for repair because of the battery fire defect. According to files examined by our national investigative team, Chevy was aware of at least 24 Bolt fires as of April. The company's permanent fix? Replacing the batteries. But Brooks says supply chain issues have extended wait times, leaving many drivers in limbo.
Everybody who has one of these cars, they just have to wait.
It's kind of the rule with NHTSA. It's tough luck. You know, the manufacturer issues a recall, and we see this all the time. Folks are having to sit for up to a year or more, many times, waiting for the repair, and people are basically being told, suck it up, we'll get there eventually, we hope you don't die or get injured in the meantime. And that's super disappointing.
Meantime, Chevy and the other companies impacted by the battery defect have taken steps to minimize risk. Bolt owners were originally told to limit charging, avoid running their batteries below 70 miles to empty, and to park outside immediately after charging and not leave the car indoors overnight. This past December, more than a year after the first of 3 Bolt recalls, Chevy came up with a software update to mitigate the threat, limiting the Bolt's charge to 80% and lifting those earlier restrictions for those who get it. But that's far from the final fix.
The bigger pain for all of the owners is having to park outside and basically upend their vehicle ownership pattern because of something they had nothing to do with. So it's certainly, more than disappointing. It's outrageous, and you can see why these owners are complaining to NHTSA.
Our team scoured NHTSA's public database, digging up complaints from the last 2 years from at least 100 drivers of various EVs, specifically related to the battery defect. Many are angry, saying they can't charge or drive their cars as much as expected.
To have it just sitting out there and have to look at it every day, what's that like?
It's terrible. I've spent thousands of dollars on that car.
Okay, I ain't gonna pay the whole thing. I just want to pay y'all the main event that's going on. But wait, did she say she spent like $1,000 on that car? And you in that type of, you know what? But yeah, y'all, this is what's going on with these electronic vehicles. I'm just gonna say this. My people who are subscribed to this channel, if you're watching this video and you also subscribe to my channel, let me tell you something. Sometimes this thing about having the next popular thing isn't always a good thing. Electronic vehicles, cars, they are the latest cars out right now. It ain't always a good idea just to have the next best thing. Sometimes it's best to just take care of what you got. And I said this in my last video. If the non-electronic cars got problems, what makes you think that the electric car won't have no problem? And this particular situation right here is flat out ridiculous. It's dangerous. And I didn't even know this, that these type of problems were going on ever since 2020, which was 2 years, going on 2 years now. And this woman spent $1,000 on that type of car. She could do herself more justice by buying one of these on, not used car, but like a 2015 or 2014 model car. She would have did better by buying those cars. But even some of those cars are being reworked on because the problems they have. And some of those all could cause about 5 years with. This is this some scary stuff going on here with these cars, man. They really are. They really are. And it's going to show you wherever the latest thing out there, at least when it comes to cars, you can't always hop on the newest stuff all the time. Because in this case, you have more problems than you recently own was dealing with. But y'all let me know what y'all think about these this situation with these electronic cars, man. I'm telling you, you know what? Yeah, it's absolutely crazy what's going on out here with these cars. It really is. It is so crazy out here with these cars. Sometimes some of this stuff will leave you speechless. But I just want to bring this information to y'all. Y'all out there who probably got some of these electronic cars. You just better be careful. That's all I can say. It's just unbelievable what's going on out here. I tell you, all thing I can say to y'all is do your best to be safe, because you never know what to expect. I'm gone.